First of all, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming this little cool, crispy morning, but that's the way it should be in fall. I'd like to thank the Winthrop Golf Club for hosting our breakfast today. Our breakfast today is about marketing in the mobile world. First of all, I'd like to invite Chris Milrick, if we have any new members, to come up to the podium. Okay, thank you, Chris.
I guess we have a couple of prospective new members, and we do have one actual new member, so welcome and thank you very much, everyone. Today I'd like to welcome a Reverend Terry Bracey. She is with the Circle of Life Celebration. She is a retired United Church of Christ clergy person. Her services are that she will do weddings, officiant, funerals, celebrant, baby blessings, and naming ceremonies, and house blessings. And I have to say, on my way in this morning, I listened to talk radio, and the announcer was talking about how she brought back some sage from the desert in Utah, and was supposed to do something to clean out her house. So I just love to hear about that. So Terry says that she'll personalize and individualize your ceremony to reflect your values and your beliefs, whether they're religious or non-religious, including language that will welcome everyone. So Terry, if you'd like to come up and say a few minute thoughts about your services. It sounds very interesting. Does sage really work?
Well, you know, that's the least of what I do, to be honest. I'm looking forward to
just trying to make a
experimenting.
connection.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Thank you. I've recently relocated to Winthrop. I lived here back in the late 80s, early 90s, when my son Nick, who's a member of the chamber, was at Dalrymple School. And we moved when he was in the 5th grade. And I was a recruiter headhunter in Boston for 20 years. And then I answered that call and went to seminary and began serving as an ordained minister in the United Church of Christ. I served a congregation in Maine and most recently in the Detroit area in Michigan. And once my 2 beautiful granddaughters were born and retirement age loomed, I was called back here to Winthrop, so to spend time with them. Part of my ministry, of course, as it is for any pastor, is doing weddings and funerals and baptisms. And one of the things we've discovered in faith circles these days is far many more people don't go to church than do go to church. Most people today don't have a congregation or a pastor, and when these celebrations come up in their lives, whether it be a wedding or a funeral or a rededication of vows, even people who aren't affiliated with a church and might not want a baptism or a christening want to celebrate the birth of a child and welcome them into their family. So to do a naming ceremony and a baby blessing is something that is very precious to folks. And that certainly, all of those things were the best part of what I did. And so I'm going to continue to do that. I hope to affiliate with some of the local funeral homes in the area. Already have affiliated with some in one in Lynn and one in Danvers. And I'm really looking forward, if you hear of folks who are going to have a wedding and they want someone to officiate that wedding, I'm your person. I do have a website, www.celebrationsoflife.net, with all of my information on that. And you can also find me through the chamber. Thank you, everybody.
Our guest speaker today is Kevin Rattan, who currently runs marketing and new business development for Kirkwood US. He brings over 35 years of business management experience and technology leadership in the graphic communication industry at large. Kirkwood US is a leading graphic print and innovations company in New England that provides printed and digital solutions across a variety of print and digital technologies for companies of all sizes, locally, regionally, and nationally. Over the course of his career, Kevin has been at the forefront of innovation and technology involving color and color management, printing and publishing, operations management, multimedia systems, UI design, internet development, e-commerce, mobile app, platforms, and software development. That's a lot. Kevin is the author of Cross Media Publishing, a strategy primer published in the National Association of Printer and Lithographers, or NAPL. More recently, Rattan worked with Isabella Products on a mobile internet device called Visit for digital OOH delivery of advertising and bi-directional communications. Visit was sold to Scala, a digital signage software company, a few years ago. Okay, so it is now my pleasure to introduce Kevin Rattan.
So I don't need to tell you who I am. That was a very nice introduction. Thank you. So I'm here today to talk about mobile marketing, technology and opportunities. It's interesting. I met Betsy and several of the board members here a few months back, and we came to the chamber really with the hopes of selling your Yellow Pages directory. And my colleague in the back, Marty Lusk, who's been working with the Winthrop Chamber for 10 or 11 years, has produced that directory on an annual basis. And as we were exploring in the conversation, we started talking about the future of Winthrop, and we started talking about the business owners that were coming into the city, and the commuter ferry coming into the harbor, and sort of what did that picture look like. So we started asking lots of different questions. And that's how I ended up here today. So Kirkwood US, we are a printer at the root of our business, but really at the end of the day, not unlike yourselves, we're reinventing ourselves. And so today we're more of a, what I would consider a content aggregator. We take content that's created and we try to find channels that are appropriate to get the right message to the right audience at the right time in the right medium. And so what I'm here to specifically talk about today is mobile ad delivery for local business owners. And I'm going to talk about empowering marketing through business integration, and those are all fancy words at the moment. But at the end of the day, it's really providing the town of Winthrop a platform that allows us to reach visitors, residents, and local consumers on any device, on any appliance, at any time. And then more importantly for you as business owners, I'm going to talk a little bit about economies of scope and scale. So before we jump down that rabbit hole, we probably need to think about how we got here. And I apologize if you can't read that at the back of the room. These slides will be made available to you. But it's really talking about, on the far left here, generation by birth year. And we talk about, in the 30s, the Great Generation. And then from 1946 to 64, we talk about baby boomers. And then Generation X and Generation Y and millennials. Everywhere I go today, when I talk to business owners about advertising and communicating, the number one challenge that I'm constantly posed with is how do we communicate with millennials, our children. I don't know about you, I have 3 children, all graduated high school, young professionals, and it dawned on me one Thanksgiving as we were sitting at the dinner table, and I was having sort of, I guess, my annual fatherly reflection on, you know, friends, life, family, as most fathers do at Thanksgiving. And in my house, while I'm a technology nerd, technology is really not welcomed at the dinner table. And I noticed as we were eating that my youngest son, who was sitting on this side of the table, and my daughter, who was sitting at the other side of the table at the end, they kept looking down as if they were in constant prayer. And at one point, I looked up at my son Andrew and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm texting." And I said, "Well, turn that thing off. There's no texting here at the dinner table. This is, you know, Thanksgiving." And he sort of sheepishly said, "I'm sorry, Pop," you know, and then I looked at my daughter, and she kind of got this, "oh no, I'm next" look on her face. And I said, "Melissa, what are you doing?" She said, "I'm texting." And then, of course, you know, the father in me takes over, and I say, "This is just unacceptable. You've been taught better than that," and da-da-da-da-da. And they said, "Dad, we're actually having a conversation about the conversation you're having." Well, I stopped for a moment and I realized that they were having a conversation as to not interrupt my conversation, but the conversation I was having was about them, and they were providing commentary to each other about my reflection on them. Sounds complicated, right? Well, that's the world we live in today. There is so much opportunity for information consumption that it's what I refer to as solution pollution. In other words, you can go anywhere to find anything about anything. And so when you're trying to build community specifically, you're trying to build small businesses, you're trying to be part of the community with your customers, with visitors that come through your shop or shops, with your competition or your co-opetition. If you own a pizza shop and so doesn't someone else, you're trying to exist in the same landscape, you're trying to service the same accounts. And so as time goes by, publishing has changed. Would we all agree on that? How many of you own a cell phone? How many of you have a smartphone? How many of you have just a flip phone? No hands. So we all walk around, as I do. I'm standing up here giving a presentation, and I'm still wondering where my little buddy is. He's in my pocket. We go everywhere with the cell phone. Let's put it in perspective for a minute. This is the new digital frontier. Every 60 seconds, 6,600 new pictures are uploaded on Flickr. 695,000 Facebook status updates occur. 13,000 iPhone applications are downloaded. In the old days of business, that sounded like a fiscal quarter, not 1 minute in a 24-hour cycle. So what's happening here, the millennials, the kids that have a conversation about the conversation, during the conversation, in the middle of the conversation, this is the world they live in. And the reality is, this is the world that your customers live in. Either as parents who have children and they've tried to stay cool, right? I'm still a dad trying to stay cool. Their friends, their colleagues, their work. How many of you still leave voicemails for your customers? Nobody. How many of you, well, there's one. How many of you email your customers? Better than half. How many of you just pick up the phone and if you don't get a voice, you hang up? A few. How many of you text your customers? Growing numbers. I discovered something a few months back. I have a customer, big corporation, nice guy, we're friendly. I've earned his respect, I've earned his trust, I've earned his business. He will not pick up the telephone. He will not return an email. I don't pick up the phone, and if I don't get a voice, don't leave anything. I always leave a breadcrumb. But one night, trying to reach him about a critical job that we had in the shop, and this guy flies around the world, just to give you some perspective. He's a media guy for a big oil company. He's on a rig, he's in Dubai, he's in a helicopter, he's everywhere, you know, doing photography and film and other things. But I needed to reach him, and in desperation one night, I went to my phone and I texted him. And it was probably about 11:30 at night when I did that. And guess what? Within 25, 30 seconds of that text being sent, I got an immediate response. Hey, Kev, how you doing? I'm in Dubai, I'm out on a rig, da-da-da-da-da, what's up? I suddenly said, well, maybe I should start texting other customers, prospects, people I want to communicate with. Because it's just about me, it's just in time, it's just now, publishing. I'm coming on to the point of that in just a second. But the point I'm trying to make is that the communications that people want to have are changing, and it's changing at light speed. 694,000 search queries every 60 seconds on Google. So people are hungry for information, but it has to be relevant. It has to be recent. It has to be right now. So when we talk about a modern approach to marketing, I would tell you that, and again, I apologize if you can't see those slides, but just to give you a couple of other statistics. The premise here is a future-proof marketing strategy enables business owners to create a seamless experience for customers that translates across multiple touch points in both digital and physical spaces. If I own a pizza shop, I still want to be able to give you my menu. But if I want to communicate with you digitally, I might want to send you a coupon through mobile because I offer 2 slices and a soda for $3. And that might be Monday. On Tuesday, I might want to do something else. On Wednesday, perhaps something else. So do I want to communicate a new message to my customers hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, half a yearly? All of the above? That's the opportunity that this landscape provides. To give you a sense of this, to ground it, 43% of small business owners spend 6 or more hours on social media. 25% spend 6 to 10 hours. 11% spend 11 plus hours. And 7% of small business owners today spend over 21 hours on social media. That suggests to me that there's also a hunger to either consume or communicate information. If we look at the most commonly used social media platforms, usual suspects, we see Facebook at 52%, LinkedIn at 21%, Twitter at 13%, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, the list goes on and on and on. If we look at the most commonly used social media platforms for ad delivery, 93% on Facebook, 75% on Twitter, 70% on LinkedIn, 56% on Google, all the way down to Snapchat at 2%. The new buzz on the street is Instagram. Well, again, my original premise, solution pollution. As a business owner, you have several and multiple choices. Today in the town of Winthrop, you have the Yellow Pages directory. If you're a new business owner, you're probably being approached by people like Angie's List. I would tell you from one person's set of optics, my own, things like Angie's List, while it's a great publication, in fact, I have the latest issue right here if you'd like to find a plumber, but you'll find one from Winthrop to Acton. It's not about local, it's about regional. And real mobile communications come to localization. So, an omni-channel marketing strategy allows brands to create a seamless experience for customers that translates across multiple touch points in both the physical and the digital spaces, or on multiple channels. Think of it like the 500 channel choices of television. So we've taken a different approach. Throw some new terms at you. How many of you are familiar with the term geofencing? Okay, a few. So geofencing is basically taking an invisible boundary and putting it around longitude and latitude. In other words, we can create and are creating an invisible canopy over Winthrop that allows you to find businesses, find events, find services, find places to eat, find specials in the town. And it allows you to take a local app, right? A Winthrop app, have category listings. And in this case, we have food places, and I chose coffee. And under coffee, I chose Kevin's Coffee. It's a good coffee, they tell me. It gives me directions, gives me a phone number. It gives me a website, it gives me an email. Does anybody see anything wrong with that thus far? Nobody? Yes, sir.
Requires you to download an app first to get it?
No, you would already have the app on your phone. The problem is, I feel like the little old lady in the Wendy's commercial. Where's the beef? Okay, so here's this coffee house. I'm on my phone. Right now, I want to know where I am, where it is, how do I get there, and is there a payoff? Is there something in it for me? So what it lacks is promotions, coupons, menus, other things. Having the website on my phone is great, but I'm just looking for a cup of coffee. I guess if I go to the website, I'm probably going to find that they sell coffee. If I call them up, what are they going to tell me? We sell coffee. Okay, well, I might want to read about why the coffee's good, but more importantly, as a business owner, where's the payoff? Where's the incentive? Why do I want to come to your coffee listing? And then lastly, of course, is the geolocation. Where is it in relative to where I'm standing on a map? Walk 2 blocks, it's on the corner. So a mobile approach to marketing really becomes a new business assistant, if you will, a new advertising vehicle. It's funny, when you ask new business owners or small business owners the benefits of mobile ad delivery and social media, and again, I'll just roll through this pretty quickly, but 90% of them say they do it because they want increased exposure, followed by traffic, loyal fans, marketplace insight, generated leads, all the way down to 50% do it because they want to reduce their marketing expenses. Everybody in business today is trying to make a $1 bill work like a 10. When I print a book, when I print a directory, when I put an ad in here, the minute this comes off the printing press, it's dead. It has no value. What if a business condition changed and I wanted to increase my coupon, decrease my coupon, change my offering? Once it's in this book, in order to put out that new message, I've got to print another book. Doing it through mobile ad delivery allows me to do it real time. So let's get to the meat of it. What are the benefits to chamber members? There's an app introduction to the community with geolocating, my business listing, and potential promotions and payoff. In the case of Winthrop, it's extended advertising to ferry passengers for business owners. As the ferry comes in and people are commuting and coming to the town to visit, at the point of impact, when they get on the boat, essentially, if they have the Winthrop app, by the time they get to Winthrop, they will know where they want to go, what they want to do, and what you're offering to them. It's local buying power because it focuses on community specifically. And mobile ads extend shelf life of existing offers and promotions and enables just-in-time delivery and messaging. Ultimately, what that does, it creates immersive experiences for visitors, commuters, and local residents with real-time payoffs and promotions. Now, that's sort of it in a nutshell. I didn't get into specifics about premium advertising, timed advertising. This platform that Winthrop is embracing for its chamber members is going to give you, the business owner, the opportunity to make that $1 bill work like a 10. I'm not trying to sell you anything here today. What I'm saying to you is that the community in which you work and live and worship is changing. Your consumers are changing. The business owner demographic is changing. The consumer demographic, the people that buy your products and services, are changing. And what we're here to do is to help you, the business owners, help Winthrop as a community embrace that change and embrace that challenge. Coming at it as a printer, I'm glad I don't have other printers in the room today, because they would be throwing arrows at me. Because what does this do for a printing company? It doesn't do anything. But like you in your changing business, coming from my roots as a printer, our business has changed, and we're trying to stay ahead of the curve and trying to help you stay ahead of the curve. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming today. I very much appreciate it. I hope it was worth your time, and we'll see you in the future, I'm sure. Thank you.